You know you're all alone. You know, but nobody cares about you. You got the beard, and you wear the little trendy socks, and you watch MSNBC, and you tweet the right stuff, and you follow the whole culture, and you're alone because it's a fake cosmology. By the way, I'm not saying it's bad to have a beard. I'm just saying all the stuff they push is a lie. It's not real culture. They want you to live in a 200 square foot apartment so they can triple charge you rent for a smaller space. It's all a joke, but if they make it trendy, you go for it. All I'm saying is we can fix the environment, go to space, build the new world, come together as a renaissance when we believe in America. Not that it's perfect, but it was the best we ever had. I want you to succeed. I am America. You are America. But you've got to take it in your hands. You've got to accept it. You've got to want it. You've got to be teleprompter free out here in 95-degree temperatures, still in the fall in Texas by fire. You got to be real. You got to be willing to get outside your comfort zone. You got to be willing to ignite the fires of liberty instead of the fires of tyranny. All the emails are out. Big mega corporations, big foreign banks wanting to make us poor, wanting to keep us in the dark, wanting to dumb us down. It even says it. Look it up. I'm not going to I can show you. I've learned. If I show you in a video all the articles and all the documents, you don't care. I just talk about it like I can't fire you listen. So you can see the documents for yourself where they say, we hope you keep them dumb. We hope you keep them down. We're going to keep them in the dark. We're going to make them stupid. We're going to make them slaves forever. We're going to make them helpless. And that makes me feel claustrophobic. Just imagine my fellow humans in that position. That makes me feel like I'm in hell, like I'm bound in chains. Just to see you in that position, I want to see you break free and go higher than I ever went. That's why they call me a dark heart in the devil. The truth is, they tell you in these Hollywood movies, the devil's a fan of man. It's a lie. God's a fan of man. Because humans are made in the image of God. The devil wants you to fall and fail. The truth is, I'm no dark heart. I got a big, bloody, red lip heart who believes in you. But God always gives people an opportunity to be free. A choice. And so metaphysically, that's why I'm here. So you had a choice. I would choose it wisely. Is Donald Trump some panacea? Is he the answer? No. He's a symbol of revolt against this global tyranny in the scientific world. They want us to all die in the fires of race war. How about the globalists burn in the fires of their own evil? How about we wake up? We'll be covered tomorrow, the big debate, 11 a.m., right through for 13 hours past midnight. The final debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. This is an incredible time to be alive. History's being made, and this is just the beginning. So I leave you with that fire. And I leave you with a contemplation of that fire. And I ask you, will you sign on to liberty? Will you sign on to the modern Declaration of Independence? Will you set brush fires in the minds of men and women? Or will you submit yourself to tyranny and the New World Order? Will you sign on to hype, or will you sign on to truth? Will you sign on to what looks fair but feels foul, or that looks foul but feels fair? That choice, my friends, is up to you.
Because they have determined what you should or shouldn't hear. Isn't that nice of
and
them?
Anthony, doesn't that show us? I just can't help it. I'm here watching.
Sure.
They can't. That shows what they're going to do with the internet, and they're now trying to do it by stealth. So let me ask you this question. Our audiences get bigger all the time. Yours does at Compound Media. We're doing it at InfoWars. But at the same time, Congress should do something. The president should. This is like organized racketeering with them rubbing their hands together in the media saying that we're killing the mainstream media, shut down their competition. How obvious is that? And are they biting off more than they can chew? Because if they try to ban us like the Sex Pistols and it doesn't work, doesn't it just make compoundmedia.com bigger?
Absolutely, it does. But here's the fear that I think we all have that are doing shows like this. We have to have a pipeline to get our message out to the people. And if the powers that be grab a hold of that pipeline and regulate it to the point where we're not allowed to say certain things, we have to play by the rules.
Selective internet kill switch. Selective internet kill switch. And then if you follow the rules, we've all experienced it. Oh, the rules get more every day. Oh, sorry, now you can say nothing.
Right. It's all the more regulation we get, the more people that want dissenting opinions eliminated. And when they're in the seats of power, we're going to have to find something else. And, this is the most open and honest forum that we have right now. Mainstream media they've gone from lying. I've noticed this too, especially with the Russia stories and the wiretapping and surveillance stories on President Trump. I've noticed the news now, it's very hard for them to just outright lie because we're on to them. Now they're confusing the issues so much that on a daily basis, somebody that pays attention to the news, like myself, is confused as all hell.
Oh, here's an example.
What's going on?
Google and Soros are behind fake news, internet privacy. The Republicans didn't vote to get rid of internet privacy. That's just a subsection. They called it net neutrality under Obama. It was an FCC, which you've enjoyed, takeover of the entire internet spectrum. And they said no to that, but they called it net neutrality. So now the Republicans killed net neutrality. No, they didn't. I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human, and I'm coming. I'm animated. I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood going through it fast. I like to fight, too. I like to eat. I like to have children. I'm here. I got a life force. This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is what everybody was like before us. This is what I am. I'm a throwback. I'm here. I've got the fire of human liberty. I'm setting fires everywhere, and humans are turning on everywhere.
For now. Well, fuck, guys. Hey, how's it going? Haven't streamed in a while. I had to today. I know everyone's going to make a statement about this, and you're probably all tired of hearing about it. Because, frankly, you should be tired of hearing about it. It's the fact that this is our timeline. But what just happened today actually happened indicates that the Cold War that has been going on between the media and anybody with any fiery neurons left in their skull. Low audio. Let me turn it up a little bit. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm actually having to work off of kind of a new rig. Not really. Today when I tried to see if that's any better. It's actually on max, but maybe I can do a couple of things here. Fuck. Well. Volume sucks. Oh, hang on. Oh, it might be really screwed up. God damn it. Wowee. The fuck? Fuck. Can anybody hear me at all? Because this is... I might have to restart. This is a problem with OBS. Oh my god. Every time. And you spend like, 45 minutes trying to make sure this shit works, and then it just doesn't work. Alright. I might have to restart the fucking stream. God damn it. Yeah, I guess I have to stop the stream because it won't let me select my microphone. Now it's better? Is it still like shitty quality though? No. I gotta restart I have to fucking start OBS. God damn it. It's quiet. Is the quality shit? Whatever. You know what it might be? I think it might actually be coming through my headphones. Fucking A. Oh, that was it. Yeah, it's coming through my headphones, which sucks. So this, yeah, I can't switch the mics though. It won't fucking let me. So, yeah, I gotta have a dim tier mic. The question is, do I restart the stream? Yeah, I am on another mic because it won't pick up my regular mic. Alright, so I gotta exit OBS and restart real quick. Okay. Alright. That might be better. Fuck. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Fucking lame. Hopefully it's still going. Let me double check. I love when, like, it's impossible to not run into some kind of stupid fucking, every time there's some dumb thing. Every fucking time. It's still staticky. This is now out of the right mic. God damn it. I swear to fuck. You know... Whatever. Okay, we have to go through this. It's still on the headphone mic. Now it says it's not. That's really fucking cool. Let's see. Well, it's plugged in, and it worked 5 seconds ago. Oh my god. If it's still going through the headphones, I don't know why. It says it's coming out of... There we go. Alright. Okay. Fucking A. Try that now. Yeah, I had to replug it in again. That's like 4 times. See if that's... Yeah, tell me if that's better. Okay, now it definitely says it's coming out of the regular mic, so... Fuck! Alright, okay. I think we're good. Hey guys, sorry about this bullshit. I was all like, I had my stream all set up to be cool, and every time there's a fucking technical problem. Anyway, how's it going? Not great for me. Let me get back to the rant I was having. I have to reset my autism to the beginning. Okay, back to where I was. Over the last 2 years, as you all know, there has been, at least the last 2 years in an acceleratory manner, there has been a war going on between the people and the mainstream media. The media absolutely has made it clear at this point that they have no desire to report the news honestly or accurately at all, if they ever did. And I do think at some point there was at least an anticipation there. Now, if you go back and you look at the history of journalism, it becomes evident quite quickly that this highfalutin idea that we have that, whoa, the media had a dedication on some level to reporting the truth, honestly. Maybe on some level, but as always, the media is not the fourth estate the way we like to think, or that the media has, well, interestingly enough, portrayed themselves. They're really not the fourth estate. They're not the fourth member of government. They shouldn't be, more accurately. They're companies and corporations on many levels. As such, it's been more or less since the inception of mainstream media, and as media has become so ubiquitous, mass media, 24 hours and non-ending, that it is more and more a business. So, as such, more than ever now, there is no real rationale or reason for journalists to be journalistic and held to the journalistic elements of integrity and ethics that they are all taught in undergrad, by the way. Most of these people only have undergrad degrees. Like, I have to say, one of the things that actually kept me from finishing my public relations degree as an undergrad, I had my org-com degree, then I was going to go to my public relations degree because they said, oh, you only have to take like 5 more classes to get a double degree. And I said, okay. So I went to get a double degree in public relations. And then right when I was supposed to graduate, and I actually walked. I walked that year, but then I didn't actually graduate till a full year later because, so I had my graduation ceremony, but I didn't, no wait, I think it was 1 semester, whatever. Fucking stupid stuff. The point is, because I had to take, I got held back basically from finishing both degrees because the second degree, they had added an extra ethics class requirement. I had taken several ethics courses, but I had to take another one. What this means, and I've spoken on this before, is that every single one of these ding-dongs in the mainstream media has had to take at least one ethics course, but probably multiple ones. And yet, despite all this stuff we learn in school, the second that you get out there, it's all thrown absolutely against the wall in terms of how it actually works. And we are all, people I'm imagining here, are highly aware of this, that the mainstream media has been, duplicitous is a nice word for it. I think more accurately, it would be correct to call them scum, fuck, lying douchebags. How about that? Because it is absolutely repulsive at this point to the degrees to which they are lying. So, what we have had left here, on the right, most importantly, interestingly enough, is any form of new media that are able to still speak their minds outside of that corporate mill of trying to pump out as much information as possible, and as long as it's in line with your fucking politics. So regardless of your opinion, and that was long-winded, but regardless of your opinion of Alex Jones, because he's certainly a silly guy in many ways. I've put some GIFs up here of him, GIFs, whatever. He's certainly an actor in many ways, as he's admitted to being, and you can believe him or not believe him on that as well. But InfoWars, and as Anthony Cumia was saying there in the clip I played in the beginning, is that InfoWars is one of the few places that people can speak their mind that falls outside of the mainstream media narratives. Or at least it was. And for those of you not aware, after all of my rambling and ranting here, as of today, Alex Jones has been removed from Facebook, from YouTube, from, where all has he been removed from? Apple Store, from Spotify, from Google Play Store. So it's now almost impossible to access InfoWars. And, you know, Alex Jones is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, I think, arguably. I don't think that's, it's totally questionable. But it is removing now free speech. And as I said, over the last 2 years in particular, with the rise of the popularity of Trump, we've, of course, seen the media's desperation in lying in attempts to maintain a narrative that they have lost control of. Because everything about Trump was disassembling the mainstream's narrative. Oh, of course Trump can't win. Of course he can't win. People don't want this. I know what you want better than you do, silly plebeian. You don't want freedom. You don't want jobs. You want to live off daddy government because that's what I told you to do. For fuck's sake. So, anyway, the point is, we've been fighting against this bullshit for 2 years, and right now, it's been a Cold War, more or less. It's been small incidences here and there. So this person got banned. Oh, I'm shadow banned on Twitter, by the way, for fuck's sake. I'm shadow banned on Twitter. Probably most of you guys are. People that I would not imagine. People like, that I play Pathfinder with. On tiny channels like Nuka Levy and Ritualist are shadow banned on Twitter. For what purpose? I'm guessing that we got shadow banned because of who we follow, maybe me for some other reason, but I'm guessing that has partially something to do with it. But outside of that, of course, we know that there have been congressional hearings regarding Facebook and the fact that Cambridge Analytica used a bunch of their data in their analysis of different people because Facebook sells your data. That's what they do. The entire idea that anybody gave a shit about Cambridge Analytica using Facebook data as like, oh my god, I can't believe somebody used Facebook data. Guess what? They've been doing that for years. In 2014, there was a study published that was basically Facebook engaged in a massive attempt to emotionally manipulate the public. Now, I think that that's a very censorious way of stating that. What was really happening is that the researchers altered the kinds of things that showed up in your timeline, and it attempted to see if there was any correlation with the types of things that you posted. Were they happy or sad? If it affected people's moods on observable measures through, qualitative research. And they found that it did. And then when people a couple years later heard about this, they freaked out that that Facebook was messing with them and had access to their information. And it's like, you signed up for this. you signed up for this when you signed their agreement. And this is how they try to excuse everything they're doing here, is saying they're private companies. And you know what, guys? Up until now, I've been pretty much like, I don't like that excuse when we're talking about something that is as all-encompassing and important as social media in terms of modern communication. It is inseparable at this point from something as ubiquitous as the telephone. So I understand that argument. I used to agree with it more, but after this, no. I have to agree with everyone who's ever said that these need to be regulated. I have been on the fence on that because lolbertarian. But no, these need to be regulated. This is bullshit. This is not a fucking Cold War anymore. You just fired the first major shot. It's on. This is not a Cold War. This is an outright conflict at this point between the people and access to information, access to multiple opinions, the absolute protection of freedom of speech, and Silicon Valley. Now, before I get any more worked up, because holy shit, I actually have a couple things to say. I have a bunch of super chats and stuff. So, hey guys, sorry again about the audio troubles at first. I'm gonna wear my fucking voice out and go all Alex Jones way before I can get into this more. Guide, or Gide, Gide 328 for $2 says, "8 live, time to get woke, LOL, thank you." Yeah, get woke, go broke. That's going to definitely happen to somebody else, it looks like, soon. What's that guy? Matthew Watts? The little fucker who punched Jeremy Hambley in the face? In the back of the head? Oh, he can get fucked. I cannot wait to see that guy get reamed in court. Anyway, Matthew P. Chapdelaine Productions gives $2 and no message, thank you. Evil Auto for 5 says, "Just got here. Are the frogs gay yet?" They're certainly gay now. Blame Obama, thanks Obongo. Thank you for the $5. Evil Auto. Field of Bears for 5 says, "Nefarious communicates the same idea without the reliance on the fuck word." Probably. I have a problem with cursing too much. I don't know. There's some research that indicates that there's a correlation between higher intelligence and more use of profanity, but I actually think that's very spurious. I don't really buy that connection. It's like one of those other things where people will conflate IQ scores with meaning they're a genius when, hang on, it's not like that simple. Leo the Bump Tickler, hey man, how's it going? For $2 says, "Morning Professor QT Patootie, what did I miss? Ooh woo." Not anything much yet other than the rant I've already done. I know you were obviously in HB's chat earlier. Yeah, I mean, he covered a lot of the same stuff I'm gonna cover. I have to make a public statement because I think everyone needs to make a public statement on this. I have also not followed Styx's advice so much in terms of moving to BitChute. I did make one, but I haven't done it. I think we need to... This is it. This is a freaking war now. We cannot sit back any longer and excuse this. You have... Now, the interesting thing, which I'll get into, is that in doing this, and the reason why I called this stream Mass Media Martyrdom, Marty, is because... That's a very obscure reference. Is because... what is going to happen is not going to be that you're going to shut up Alex Jones. You're not. You're not shutting him up, you stupid morons. How dumb can you be? And this is, again, I know you went to school for this. I know that you have somebody on your team who has a degree in, I don't know, organizational communication, communication psychology, social psychology, media psych. You've got somebody there who knows something about it. What an idiot. Then you have to know what you have just done is the Barbra Streisand effect. It's psychological reactance. I have talked about this so many times. You just made, and the clip I played there, you just made Alex Jones the fucking hottest shit on the internet. Congratulations. Now, I don't know if it's going to work because I've been saying that for a long time, and they clearly have no interest in ceasing. I thought eventually they would walk it back a little bit. No, we're actually seeing the opposite. This is accelerationism. And I guess, and my anticipation and thought process upon it would be that this is their way of dealing with the fact that they're about to absolutely get wrecked in the midterms. The left knows that they're over, and this is their only thing they have left. They are acting like a caged, scared, wild animal. They have nothing left to do but to try and shut down fucking Alex Jones. For fuck's sake. I mean, again, you know, you can like InfoWars or hate it, but when you censor somebody, it makes everything they say so much more interesting, particularly to young people, I would say, generally speaking. Oh, man. Rogue Crusader for 2 says, capitalism isn't perfect. Leftist core prove this. Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, capitalism isn't perfect, but, I mean, there's different forms of capitalism as well. Depends on how we want to do it, I suppose. But, no, of course, nothing's perfect. This is reality. That's actually a whole nother topic we do a whole stream on or something, is the idea that we can fix everything, that someday something can be utopic in its nature, which, you know, utopia by the very meaning of the word is unachievable, so, duh. Nothing's perfect. But, yeah, I mean, there will be failures, and this is part of the problem, you know, with saying, oh, well, they're private industries, so they should be allowed to do what they want. No. No. Not at this point. You have crossed a line. The inescapable nature of Google and Apple and Facebook puts them at a level where, no, I'm sorry, you now fall into the realm of a public service, which means everyone should have equal access. That doesn't mean that if you can't pay for it, you can't pay for it. If you want to have me pay for it, oh, guess what? I'm totally down for that. I'll pay for it. How about that? Okay? But you can't then remove me from it because I paid for a service that is available to everybody. And that's the same with everything else. That's why when people say, don't... I get very confused by the phraseology of like, people deserve access to food. And it's like, well, yeah, everyone has access to food. They deserve access to food. They don't deserve it for free. How about we put it that way? If that's how you want to do it, have these companies regulated, and just I have to pay to use Twitter. Okay, I'll pay $5. I don't know. How much would I be really willing to pay to use Twitter? Not much. But if I felt like using that service, then I could use it. JJetty for 5 says, for beating those goddamn audio difficulties, thank you. It was just some weirdness with OBS. It happens sometimes, you know. Thank you for the 5. Spooky Weeb Trash, hey, how's it going? $5, it's a slow burn civil war. Yeah, it is a slow burning civil war, but I think they just... what was the first battle? Shoot. I know this, actually. But it's escaping me. This is Fort Sumter. This is our Fort Sumter of freedom of speech, right? This is the real, like, tensions have been building, but this is Fort Sumter. I think so. Or that's probably a good analogy for it, I suppose. Yeah, this is not good. I don't think it's good for anybody, honestly. But we can't sit by, not like we have been sitting by, so I don't want to misrepresent it. But I think this is going to be a major wake-up call for anybody left, haha, pun, who hasn't already figured it out, that the left is trying to control your thought. Everything that you think or hear. Like, you can't even hear what Alex Jones has to say. You know, I was just listening to Sargon and PJW talk today on the video Sargon put up. And it was interesting that PJW was mentioning all the lawsuits against them. Now, this was put up, Sargon put it up, I think, like, right around the time we were all finding out about this crap happening, so he probably didn't even know about it when he was uploading the video. But it turned out being very interesting timing of PJW talking about all of the lawsuits that are filed against them. And ultimately, it's ridiculous, because you can't sue somebody because you don't like what they're saying. I'm sorry, ultimately you can't do that. You can't. And it's why InfoWars has always won. And although they want to get rid of them, they have not been able to. But this just shows that the media now is not willing to play fair at all. And again, anyone who has not already realized this is going to realize it now. This is not that Alex Jones can go sit on his corner of YouTube and talk about gay frogs and space aliens and interdimensional shit when he gets stoned on Joe Rogan's podcast or whatever. No, this is now saying you're not fucking allowed to listen to Alex Jones because he's too intense for YouTube. Again, what I've been saying the whole time is that obviously at some point this is going to attract more people than it drives away. But now,
if there's no way to access him, and you know what, and again, say what you want about the Daily Stormer, they still have a right to put their shit out there. And nothing makes the Stormer more attractive than by making it impossible for them to host their fucking website. One of the major reasons I also wanted to do this stream today is because I've been talking in the video I just made, and the video I was actually editing when this shit happened, is about this idea of firing people because, or removing people because it's bad for business, right? This is bad for business for them to remove Alex Jones. I believe that on every fundamental level. People are going to quit and get rid of their YouTube Red accounts. People are going to be out in the street protesting this, I think for real. Because this is absolute, unquestionable censorship that's coming from the left. It's not saying Alex Jones is stupid and crazy, don't listen to him, which is what they've always done. It's saying Alex Jones is not allowed to have a platform. And that's the difference. And that's why this is the first real battle. The first true shots fired. Before now, it's been rumblings. This is real fucking blood on the ground. It's it. I don't know where else it can go from here other than outright, I mean, you know, obviously, hopefully not physical conflict, but this is going to be a major fucking thing. Jeremiah Rosada for 2 says this is actually how Orwellian nightmares start. Yeah, you know, I think people quote or reference Orwell a bit too frequently, but it seems, yeah, well, I mean, more accurately, is this the Turner Diaries in so many ways. It's somewhere, we're like somewhere trapped between like the Turner Diaries and 1984 in a really bizarre way. And, again, say what you want about Pierce too, but, no, obviously criticisms to be levied there. But, yeah, they have proven that they're going, it's not just going like Orwellian nightmare starting. We're full on Orwell in terms of you cannot have that thought in your head. Eric for 2 says, sounds probs from them trying to silence you. No, that was that was actually me being a boomer tier at tech. Thank you though. Mr. Sutherland for 10 says, I'm not saying this is a slow burn to civil war, but I'm saying you should all buy guns and ammo. Never something I would disagree with generally. So yeah, everybody, hang on though, guys. A real quick point there. I have to still stand by this. We have to hold the upper hand here. Never engage in violence against anybody. That, as I mentioned, that little fuckboy who punched the quartering Jeremy in the back of the head, he's a piece of trash as far as I'm concerned. Alleged trash, excuse me, he's not been convicted of anything yet. But fuck him. Don't be the person who starts shit. But if someone starts shit, they get hit. So take it that way. $2 from the Gath says AJ is #1 trend all day. It's Streisand in action. Yep, exactly. You just made Alex Jones the not just like topic du jour, but this is going to be revolutionary in some level. It's one of the reasons again I wanted to talk about this when I normally wouldn't. I normally wouldn't do streams about regular stuff that happens every day, but this is too monumental and for the long term. It's in its long-term implications, not just for me, but for everybody on this platform, and for all of us as citizens who consume media. Thank you. Leo the Bum Tickler for 5. How do we combat this efficiently? How do we know BitChute isn't going to do the same thing? We don't know. That's all we can really do is try to find ways around it. I don't have a good... Unfortunately, I don't have a good answer. I would say historically... it seems that, you know, if something starts to fail, we find something new to go to. But the problem is right now, it's a very interesting cyclical nature, right? So as I was preparing for the stream a little bit, I just wanted to look up some mainstream media articles about, for example, the congressional hearings regarding Facebook. And all the things that I've seen on them, besides watching the actual hearings themselves, were comments and commentators from sort of my side of the political spectrum. And we all thought it was ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't just us. It was everybody memed on the Zuck with his weird congressman. We run ads, smile up to 100, back down to 0 kind of stuff. But I was reading in this New York Times article, or excuse me, Washington Post. What's the difference? And this describes it as, here, I'll pull it up. Okay. So, look at how the Washington Post describes the congressional hearing of Mark Zuckerberg. I'm trying to... There. Okay, well, whatever. It just says, Facebook's Zuckerberg just survived 10 hours of questioning by Congress. Oh my god. And it goes on, it's just this bitch fit. Oh, holding him for 5 hours, Democrats and Republicans on the House Energy and Commerce Committee took turns swiping at Zuckerberg, holding him to yes and no questions and frequently cutting him off, a tactic that at times appeared to frustrate the Facebook co-founder. Are you fucking kidding me? Your fucking company... Now, I know that they want to just say it was Cambridge Analytica, but as I said, your company routinely and has had, over the course of its entire existence, sold the information that it gathered, and by the way, we all did agree to, so, again, we agreed to it when we signed up, sold information to anybody who wanted to buy it. Oh, poor Zuck. See, this is what I mean by cyclical, though. The mainstream media sucks off Silicon Valley. They're perfect good boys who can't do anything wrong. And then the media, in contrast, oh, they're all perfect good boys who can't do anything wrong. They didn't do nothing. Everybody in this is a good little boy, except for Donald Trump, who is absolute literal Hitler. And so, what you end up in is these two just giant groups of powerful individuals essentially engaging in a perpetual motion circle jerk. Fuck. And people who aren't, politically savvy, or even, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way, don't get me wrong. Most people just do not have the time to spend every day looking up this shit to understand what the fuck happened. So all they see is the Washington Post headline, oh no, how terrible that they were so mean to the man who made Facey Space. And it ends up just going around again and again and again with no signs of cessation. And this is, I think, their escalation attempt in order to defend each other. In order for the mainstream media to show their, defense of Silicon Valley and vice versa. They have become essentially inseparable. Therurin for 2 says, Ad Victoriam, Free Alex Jones, Altana Volt, thank you. And Altana Volt. Ham or Bro, Frank, for 542 says, sup, Aiden, Kyle's friend again. Oh, hey. I'm damn sick of this bullshit from the left. First, the West Boca comic. Now Jeremy gets hurt. This is awful. Yes. There is so much. This is, again, I sit around, trying to make videos. Okay, so for example, I'll show you guys this real quick. Alright. But I don't have this. I wasn't anticipating doing this, so take me 1 second. Yep. Okay. So, this is the Audacity file that I'm currently editing. Whoop, where did that go? Oh no, what have you done? Well, that's weird. It all just disappeared. Oh, it's because I unplugged my SD card, never mind. So, yeah, you don't have to, I already saved it. Oh well. Anyway, it's over an hour, and of just stuff to edit, because this keeps building, and every time I think I don't have anything else to say, another freaking thing happens. This whole Sarah John thing happened after I recorded the video that I just recorded. It's an hour long to talk about bullshit firing, so now I don't know if this is going to have to be 4 videos that are all 40 minutes to an hour long, because it just keeps accelerating. It's insane. I don't know where the stopping point is. I don't know when it's going to reach a peak insanity, because I feel like every day, how do we get worse than this? And then I wake up today and Alex Jones is kicked off of everything. That's worse than I thought it could get. For so many reasons. Because really the best thing that the mainstream media could possibly do to combat Alex Jones is to pretend like he's an idiot. if they pretend that he doesn't matter, then he doesn't matter. It's the same thing with most things. Something only matters if you put a spotlight on it. That's the only way that it gets any kind of attention, mainstream. Potato King for 2, thank you, says, how long... Whoops, it moved up. Where did you go? How long till Trump tweets support for Alex? Trump has always shown his support for Alex Jones. Well, not always, but on multiple occasions shown his support for Alex Jones. He's been on InfoWars. I know that, I believe, PJ... Who was I listening to? It might have been... who was saying it earlier? I actually think... today's been crazy, so... Oh, Computing Forever, I think, made a quick video about it where he said that people from InfoWars were in contact with the Trump administration, in which case... Well, Trump just recently, of course, made the tweet about the shadow banning, about how Republicans were being shadow banned from Twitter. So Trump is clearly aware of that. They're going to be investigating that. And I think that the only thing left at this point is action is going to have to be taken, because it is clear at this point that these companies essentially have gone rogue. They are providing what is essentially a public service and have become state-sponsored in their own way propaganda. It's just what part of the state is sponsoring them. And because that's the part that's the good side, according to themselves, that's okay. The Yoda55 for 5 says, Tim Pool just went over a bunch of layoffs that are happening in various news organizations, in a couple of cases, propaganda outlets, death thrash. Absolutely. Obviously. CNN's everything is down. Their viewership, their ratings, everything is in the gutter at CNN. And they're clearly, it's scared meme, or it's afraid meme. Starship Troopers. It's afraid. They're afraid, and this is their last ditch effort. And as I said, it's obvious because there are much more efficient ways of dealing with Alex Jones if you really think he's a threat, but they don't think he's a threat. Because he's not. People watch him. He's a threat now. Alex Jones is more of a threat right this second than he has been over the last 2 years of you screeching autistically about Trump. Comic fan Nicholas for 4, hey, how's it going? Says, hello Aiden, here's some money, thanks man. Leo the Bum Tickler for 10 says, the bum tickling starts now. Ooh, no, please, no. Rando number 9 for 5 says, to hell with this my principles crap, no more mercy for the left, mass flag all of their sacred cows, mass report all of the libs who step of line. See, I don't agree. Even now, I don't agree. My issue there is that, look, I'm not gonna mass flag their shit on principle because I am a moral objectivist. I believe certain things are good and certain things are bad. So if something is bad, it's always bad, with maybe some exceptions, but you'd have to spell it out pretty clearly. To silence anybody is bad, in my opinion. That's wrong. I, however, will not fight to save them from their own hypocrisy. You won't see me standing up to defend James Gunn. You won't see me standing up to defend, oh shit, who else has gotten the fucking hammer recently? Any of these people who are now suddenly coming under scrutiny for or Dan Harmon, although, you're just not gonna see me defending them. They're going to be subject to their own bullshit. I'm not gonna defend you over it. I'm gonna sit back and laugh my fucking ass off at you getting dicked. But I also don't think it's right. I don't think that it's right for anybody to be silenced. Everybody's voice should hold the same ability to be heard. And if that means screeching into the void, that's fine. You should have the ability to screech into the void. Let them eat each other. Let them do that. But I will never change my opinion, and I will never change my stance that it's wrong to do that. So I say just leave them alone and let them eat each other, I guess. Although, it appears to be working so far, right? They're completely destroying each other right now. Wow, I already blew my voice out. Thank you, though, Rando number 9. Matthew Meeks for 10 says, I'm not the biggest fan of InfoWars, but, well, the memes from Alex Jones was plentiful. I will ready armaments for the next great meme war. Keep your keyboards dry, lads. Keep up the good work, Aiden. Thank you, Matthew Meeks. Yeah, I also don't generally agree with InfoWars. I think a lot of, I like PJW, okay, sometimes. I think he's an absolute meme. He's kind of an idiot. He is very, very frequently an idiot, which is why I meme on him all the time. Alex Jones is just a performer. He's hilarious as far as I'm concerned, but he's also often right. He's often, one of the greatest examples is the gay frog thing. Astoundingly, he wasn't totally wrong. The thing that everyone on the right and the left loves to meme him over, that they're putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay, he wasn't entirely off base. He just said it in a very roundabout and non-clear manner. He wasn't precise. They were kind of putting chemicals in the water that made the frogs hermaphroditic, I believe. So was the actual thing that happened. Grave Abe for 5 says, the normal citizens ain't gonna hear about this. That is why they can do this. No media is gonna report this. How can you beat a monolith? Well, as, I forget who mentioned it now, but someone said, that InfoWars is trending #1 on Twitter. You can only hide it so much. This is what I'm saying. They were hiding it well enough effectively. What they just did was shine the brightest spotlight imaginable on this. Now, it can't be avoided. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to do what they do every single time. They're going to say, well, Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist, so you can't listen to him. If you listen to him, you think that if you listen to Alex Jones, you think Sandy Hook didn't happen and you're disrespecting the parents. Even though Alex Jones has come out multiple times now and says that he thinks Sandy Hook did happen and all that stuff, doesn't matter. That'll be that. They'll do what they did last time, which was to bring up his divorce, to go into his personal life in details. They will go into the fact that he has been sued before, even though it hasn't gone anywhere. That is the shit the mainstream media will report on. But the fact is, I don't think what they just did is they actually fucked up their little cyclical circle jerk bukkake they had going on with Silicon Valley. Because up until now, they kept this fairly, under the radar. It was only the people who were paying attention who noticed it. No, you just made this national fucking news. And even if you don't report on it, everyone is going to hear about it on social media. Maybe not everybody. They're certainly going to try to bury it. And like I said, that's how they'll do it. You can watch it happen in real time. They'll bring up the exact 3 things I said. Alex Jones's divorce and ex-wife or his family. They'll bring up the Sandy Hook stuff, and they'll bring up the lawsuits. And they will not mention anything else. But I don't think it's going to work this time. That's worked up till now. It's not going to work from now on. Not after you did this. Not after you absolutely, unquestionably censored somebody. Thank you, Grave Ave. Ethan Long for 10. I don't know about canceling my Red account, but I'll definitely continue to support you and others, like-minded content creators and commentators. Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much, and thank you so much for the $10. I know everyone obviously appreciates it. It's a big deal, really now, because YouTube is really... YouTube, I'm not going to make any kind of definitive statements, but my views are down super low, and I'm not really sure why. And I've just seen tons and tons of comments from people saying they've been unsubscribed from my channel, that they don't get notifications, or that they get a notification like 2 weeks later. And it happens to me too, because I'm a huge consumer of YouTube content. I've been unsubscribed. I've been unsubscribed from Scrub. I was unsubscribed from, oh my god, I'm trying to think. So many people I've been completely just removed from seeing their content. I know that there's some kind of thing where YouTube says, like, you can't, if you follow more than 200 people, they start to remove you, and I follow a lot of people. But right now, it is obvious, I think it's without question, that YouTube is censoring people. We are obviously talking about just that today, in their censorship of Alex Jones. But, and this is another thing. Okay. This removal of InfoWars happened at the same time. This wouldn't be so incredibly censorious, like, in the level of their censorship, had they not made it obvious they were all in on it together. Like, how stupid have you guys become? Again, I know that you pay for analysts and people to run the numbers on this shit for you, okay? I know that you do. So how did you not realize it was gonna not, be the best optics to ban Alex Jones from all of your outlets on the same day while you all sit there and go, oh, we're not colluding together at all. Yeah, I'm sure everyone will believe that, huh? Everyone's going to fucking believe that. Oh yeah, we're not connected to each other. We're all just independent actors here. That's why we banned the same guy and his mass media outlet that attracts millions of viewers every time he streams. And we're doing pretty awesome here right now, guys, but this is not this is not InfoWars. This guy gets sometimes hundreds of thousands of people watching his content. I mean, sometimes he turns on that shit, he's got, 5,000 people there watching, some shit like that. And then his videos get millions of views. And he had millions of followers on his Facebook, and you just deleted that shit all on the same day? And tried to act as if no one would be able to connect the dots on that one? Yeah, I think you are underestimating the intelligence of even the most, brain-dead person. The only people who will buy that this is random, that this is not targeted censoring of free speech, they're beyond hope, I would say at this point. They're completely brainwashed to the point I don't know if they can be salvaged. Say Broad for 2 says, go to Alice Jones' channel, it's live. Oh, cool. I know that Owen Schroyer said that his thing is up, and that he's going to be hosting stuff on there. Owen Schroyer is another person from InfoWars that I think is a funny little dude. I think he's silly. I don't think he's particularly smart, but he makes me laugh sometimes when he does his street videos. Merc, hey, how's it going? For 5 says, Streisand effect indeed. 3 communities I monitor are exploding over this. Oh, yeah. But I mean, again, we know what communities you're in, Merc, so they might be a little biased. Scarcy Tyrannon? Sorry if I butchered that. Hi, Aiden. I've noticed you like radio programs more than the average bear. Did you listen to Adventures in Odyssey on BBN growing up? No, I did not. Odyssey on BBN. Let me see what that is. I do like radio programs, though. That's kind of something that is like a lost love or art, I guess, in that I like radio programs because they were sort of, it's podcast before podcast, I guess. You have to use your mind to visualize things. I like that. But no, I'll check that out. Thank you. Abgia for 20 Australian dollars, I think. Thank you. Says, I know this may be unpopular, but it seems these companies do need to be made public utilities. A lot of people have already gotten off YouTube Red. Maybe they think they can survive without the wrong thinkers. I believe that YouTube and most of these companies think that they can survive. And I agree with you. As I said, I was still hanging on a little bit to saying like, oh, well, technically they're public companies, technically, I'm a free market. So they can do what they want. But at this point, I think we have to say, with the level of things that have happened over the last couple months, the extent to which the public has become aware, even the mainstream public, become aware that these companies control everything. It's not quite a monopoly because they're all in on it together. Telecom companies do this too. For example, in the town that I live in, right? Technically, it's not a monopoly because I have a choice between Comcast or dial-up internet, because that's what we have here. The local dial-up internet service, and yes, that still exists, or Comcast. So Comcast can do fucking anything they want, and absolutely does. They charge whatever they feel like, they have, their lines just do not work in some instances. I lived in an apartment 4 years ago when I first moved here to West Virginia, 5 years ago, I moved to West Virginia. I lived in an apartment where I called Comcast agents to come out and test the wires and figure out why I couldn't get internet access 11 times, I think. It was 7 or 11, some number that, I don't know. It was one of those two, not the grocery store, but somewhere between 7 and 11 times. I called these guys. They came out here. They did nothing. Now, it's because they have an agreement with AT&T and Verizon and all of these other companies that provide cable services that Comcast gets to own West Virginia, essentially. Or at least this part of it. So, well, they'll allow, of course, they allow other companies to exist. And they even help them out. But it's shit that no one uses. the competition here is Frontier. They offered pretty much just dial-up internet. So yeah, that's your competition in work. It's because they have all agreed on how they were going to, cut up the country. And in some places, this has worked better than others, particularly when the local legislation doesn't pitch a fit about it because, whatever, maybe they're getting a little bit on the dole. Oh, now I sound like Alex Jones, except I'm probably fucking right. I'm sure they're paid off on some way to not, protest this shit. The point is that the telecom companies did the same thing that Silicon Valley and the mass media are doing now, which is that basically there's no way for you to escape this shit. And because there's no way to escape it, it does need to be regulated. I hate regulation. I don't like the government being involved in fucking anything. But at this point, I don't know what's left. I don't know what other options there are. Alexandria Genesis for 2 says, a small nest of cobras will soon be an infestation. Yeah, very true. I am Siler for, thank you by the way, I am Siler for 5 says, at least they didn't spit on Jones like some other faggot we know. Yeah, Jimmy Dore spit on Alex Jones, has still never apologized. Fuck you, Jimmy Dore, even if you're decent sometimes. Thank you. Our RJ MacPot 720 for 2 said, what about when AG oaked censorship of Kaepernick? Okay, so I'm sure he did, and the thing is, I don't believe anyone should be censored. You're allowed to criticize anybody. The difference is, how is Kaepernick censored though? I'd have to, I'll read the chat. How is Kaepernick exactly censored? He was allowed to do whatever he wanted, but so you're hired by the NFL to play a game, to go out into the field and crack some skulls, right? What he was and why do you do this? Hang on. What is the purpose of Hand Egg? The purpose of Hand Egg is to entertain the audience in the arena, okay? In the Coliseum to watch you crack some skulls, all right? What he did reduced the enjoyment of the audience. I would say that means he, on some level, was not doing his job. So, we could debate that in terms of... But yeah, he wasn't censored. You mean by the fact that he couldn't get another job? Well, that's... Or that he wasn't hired back? Well, he was actually, if I recall correctly, he was offered another position and he turned it down. So I don't see any censorship of Kaepernick, but I would say what I've said earlier, and I'll reiterate. People should not lose their jobs or be censored. Now, okay, hang on. People say some pretty fucked up shit. I can understand why a company might not want to be involved with them. Now, we're going to go over the data on that in one of the videos I'm working on, because I've got a big bunkle of data on whether or not capitulating towards a short-term customer complaint results in long-term customer satisfaction and, more importantly, profits. Short-term answer, not really. There's a moderator variable there, and it's called employee satisfaction. And if you're firing employees and you're treating your employees like shit, then you're probably not going to find as strong of a direct correlation between, and definitely doesn't exist between one term. So, for example, there's a study, and I don't have the citations in front of me. There's a study that was looking at basically customers complained in the year 1998, right, about a problem, and then they said, "Oh, did we?" The researchers asked, did the company properly respond to your complaint? Did they deal with it? Did they did they do what you wanted them to do? And they could say yes or no, and how quickly did they respond, and those kinds of things. And then they assess the correlation between the response and repeat business and general profitability. There was a short-term correlation between higher profitability and greater use of the companies that had the quick and satisfactory responses to a complaint. However, it basically disappeared by 1 year later, meaning that when you respond very quickly to things, so like the Papa John's thing, immediately trying to get rid of the founder, maybe not a good idea. Same thing with Roseanne, I would say, and actually I would say for everybody involved, James Gunn might not have been a good idea. Maybe there's more with James Gunn. But, because there's some weird stuff there with his associates, but guilt by association is an absolutely terrible thing to do, and I don't agree with it. But, some weirdness with James Gunn. My point is that when you just bow down to the outrage mob, and the outrage mob can come from either side, when you just bow down to them, it doesn't appear to be very well supported by data, at least that I've read, that it has long-term financial positive outcomes. So, don't censor anybody. That's the purpose of freedom of speech. Look, okay, leftists prove themselves to be morons all the time, by their, like, extreme leftists, by their own volition. Let them do it. Let crazy people be crazy. They will always debunk themselves, essentially, right? If what they're saying is actually stupid and actually insane, then they BTFO themselves. They do it every single time. So, I would say let people say whatever the fuck they want. Now, this brings up an interesting question of, what's her name again? Sarah Jeong, the New York Times editor. Okay. Should she be fired? Maybe. I don't know. That's a private business. They're up to make their own mind on that, whether or not they think that's going to be long-term beneficial. Again, not so sure based on the data. I would need more data specifically on the kind of violation that can you hear that motorcycle? Anyway, I would need more long-term data on the kind of employee violation. There's nothing specific on this from my analysis, but it's definitely something that we need to look at in greater detail. The thing is, though, with her, with so many of these other things, it would never have been tolerated if it was anyone but her. If she was saying those kinds of things about anyone but white people. And that's why I will sit back and laugh and point out your hypocrisy, but I agree that, I actually think that, again, the company can do whatever the fuck they want, but, is it in their best interest? I don't know. The data, again, aren't very consistent on that, and I wouldn't make that kind of recommendation. But, it depends on who your audience is. In part, who is your customer base? Who is the New York Times' customer base? People who think that Sarah Jeong cannot be racist because she's an Asian woman. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. I was streaming a while, guys. Santiago for 5 says, think of the poor billionaires who sell our info and call people idiots. I know, it's so sad. Oh no. Thank you. Louis Carrillo for 5 says maybe Facebook is now home for Holocaust deniers, anti-white racists, but not Alex Jones. Maybe the gay frogs are coming, guys. Well, I mean, this is the thing when everybody is a Nazi, everybody's a racist, everyone's a Holocaust denier. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Jesus. I'm losing my voice, and then it's super hot in here, but I don't want to turn my AC on because I know it's way loud. Leo the Bum Tickler for 5 says, you got any spicy videos of you pegging a passed out hard bastard on your hard drive? No, I do not, but I believe, as I said before, yet. Raw Ass Shit Show just gave 169, thank you. Tyler Preston for 5 says, Alex Jones is being used as a scapegoat by the Democrats like they did to Joe McCarthy. Whoop, why did it just disappear? Whoops. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh my god, there's way more messages than I thought. By calling him a propagandist. Like they did to Joe McCarthy by calling him a propagandist. Thing is, McCarthy was right. As we found out after the fact, there were actually a lot of Russian agents in this country, including many of the people who were caught. They were actual Russian agents. McCarthy, you could call him overzealous, perhaps, but he wasn't wrong. I guess, we have to, well, history is written by the winners, and I forget, I keep forgetting I'm not allowed to say that phrase. But obviously the Marxists won the Cultural War, at least in the universities, so you can't talk shit, you cannot do but talk shit about McCarthy and accuse him of being a horrible person, of being wrong, whatever. Dio Brando said Seth Rogen is the new person under fire. It's happening so frequently now that I can't even keep up with it. It's just one every single day. I mean, like, the Me Too thing was bad enough, but now this is every day. Let's look up somebody's old tweets. And it's astonishing to me. It is so... it is so deliciously and delightfully ironic that all of the comedians, and if you guys haven't seen Count Dankula's new video, I highly recommend it. I agree with him completely. But it is absolutely delicious and ironic that all the comedians who would have been like, oh, I can't believe he made the pug do a Nazi salute, are all of a sudden coming under a lot of the same criticisms, right? Of, oh, hey, you said something. Oh, Trevor Noah, you said something that you called Aboriginal women unattractive, you racist. It's hilarious. Again, I'm not going to defend... Okay, I don't support them being in any way attacked. I don't support them losing their jobs, although I admit, you know, whatever. All I see in it is, look, you made the rules, you made the bed, I'm not going to... I will say I don't stand for it, because I don't stand for it. But I'm not going to come out and defend you openly and actively. I'll do what I just did right here, which is, I think it's wrong, I don't agree with it. Free speech should be free. That's your fucking right. It's why we live in a constitutional republic. That is your right to have freedom of speech. No, freedom of speech, but with consequences. Okay, well, consequences do not include being deplatformed to the point to which you no longer have freedom of speech. That is not freedom of speech with consequences. Consequences are, yeah, if somebody doesn't like what you say, they can disagree with you. And if they're your boss, and it's disruptive to their business, I think, yeah, they should have the right to fire you. If it's disruptive to their business, but go look at those data and see if it's really worth the long-term implications to be shitty to your employees. That's what I would say, because I would say the data aren't strong on that. 2A for £10, thank you. Says the left see the state as a pseudo-parent. Absolutely. They feel existential terror as the state is part of their being, and Trump as pres corrupts that. They attack anything that supports Trump to end their terror. Absolutely, agreed, 100%. And, yeah, this is very, very much, yeah, they're terrified of losing the daddy state aspect of their politics, because it's based on so much. This is why they want to why they're letting illegals vote in California, why they are so you know, butthurt about and even when we make every single imaginable leeway, we give every single imaginable leeway to people calling for more dreamers and more amnesty and bring in more and more illegals who are related to them. Every time we give them an inch, they ask for another mile. Why? Not because they give a shit about people from the, quote, third world, because they want more people in their fucking plantation, that's why. They want more free votes that they can milk forever. And I mean, it's disgusting. I'm not saying, by the way, that Republicans aren't in some way responsible for that shit, too, because they certainly are. This idea that it's a dichotomy, like Republican, Democrat dichotomy, is an absurdity. The Republican and Democrat parties, as I believe we should all know by now, but just as a refresher course, are pretty much the same fucking thing. Not left and right, those are different, but the mainstream parties in the United States have been real shitty and very, very similar, because most of the, you know, the rhinos, most of the mainstream Republicans, these boomer fuckers, they were all leftists. They were all leftists. They were neoliberals, and they just moved, man. That's it. So, fuck that shit, man. Anyway, Starscream1540 for 5 says, make InfoWars great again. Hey, it was always great. They actually got much better during the 2016 years. They got much better, much more accurate reporting. I actually really liked InfoWars. I used to listen to them a lot. I find it difficult because of the incessant shilling for their products, which I'm not gonna buy. I might buy like a t-shirt or something, but yeah. Child of Slash for 5 says, just got here. How many graphs have I missed? No graphs today. Well, I've got some graphs. Actually, hang on. Well, okay, that's still working. So I've got some graphs. We could look at some real quick. In terms of the data I was citing about that's gonna be right in here. Oh no, I think, did I save that? Yeah, I did. Just gotta figure out which graph it is. Huh. Yeah, oh, this is it. Here, I found it. Oh, that was really quick. Okay. So, there. Okay. So this is what I was talking about. This is pretty neat. So this is the relationship between handling complaints and organizational outcomes. These are, it's hard to read. It says sales, margins, plans, hours. These are the sort of different kinds of outcomes. So we can see these are the two different ways that a complaint can be handled, either with speed or satisfactorily. And then related to, this is the 1998 outcomes, these are the 1999 outcomes. Look at all these nice little correlations between satisfactorily and with speed, and both sales and margins. Not super strong correlations, but I think that if we actually looked to a different thing, like we put in the moderator variable of employee satisfaction, this would explain, you would probably see, I would say, anywhere between an increase of maybe like 0.1 to even 0.2 if we included employee satisfaction here in the analysis. But then here's the next year down here at the bottom. That's shown up, right? Yeah. Okay. At the bottom, you see it says 1999 org outcomes. And see, there's only the same small correlation between the satisfaction and sales. It's less than the year before, and there's fewer things. Hang on. Where is the other one I was looking for? The nice little moderator variable. Whoops. Sorry, this is, hope you don't get, if you have. This is just, I have a big folder with things in it. So, that I might use in these videos. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's the test. This is, I think if you included it in this model, or well, this is the actual model, but then if you included that and accounted for, oh, this is verbal aggression, that's not it, I'm sorry. Whatever. This is why, see, I gotta be prepared to show graphs. Okay. Fuck. Alrighty. I drove away like 30 people probably by just being like, oh, you want to see some graphs? I'll get out some graphs for you. Anyway. Dodo Sweden for 5 Swedish kroner. Wait, Aiden, waiting, we have to wait for Soy Father 25-year plan to be a good boy and watch porn and play Ark and take care of my dinosaur wife. I'm worried. I'm actually worried, because, look, they're starting the fucking war. They've started this shit. You know, we've been very patient up until now, but I think we gotta fucking, I think they're accelerating. We're gonna have to do some shit back. I don't know what else we're gonna do. Let's see. Iggy Thunders for 5. Thank you, by the way. Dodo Sweden. Iggy Thunders for 5 says, you're worth 2 episodes of South Park. Thank you. Cool Dudes 4208 for $5 Canadian bucks. Says, hey Aiden, not sure if you're aware about this or not, but YouTube wasn't saying that you were live in the sub bar. I am not at all surprised. Well, in the words of Paul Joseph Watson, imagine my shock. The Paul Joseph Watson and the mainstream media. Fuck me. Spooky Weeb Trash for 5 says, let's all move to Pornhub. I've heard people say that, maybe. Bandit 848 for 2 says, it's been a while since I've seen new stuff from you. I upload every week. I do. I have at least one video up every week, and they are usually 50 minutes long, so hopefully, I try to do more, but man, it's like making kind of like a micro documentary, so it is, it's a lot of work. Between the research and editing and all that shit. I'm not bitching, I'm just saying, I'm trying to be out at least one every week. If I can do 2, I'm real happy with myself. Try to do, but anticipate 1. Iggy Thunders again for you're worth more than 2 episodes of South Park. Thank you again. King Verbatim for 1776, which will commence again. Says, real talk, why does a conspiracy keep getting called a theory after enough proof is presented to the public? MK Ultra and Watergate, for example. Yeah, that's weird, right? I mean, we now know that MK Ultra was a real thing. That was unquestionably a real thing that happened. And it's still a conspiracy theory. No, it's a theory if it's just an idea. In terms of, I guess the difference is that we would say, you know, in social science, for example, we have to, everything we have are theories because we can't prove anything. But in reality, we can prove something. We can show with evidence that this happened, or it did not happen. We have proof that MK Ultra and Watergate happened. So I would say it's not a, it's not a theory at that point, but I don't know. Raw Ass Shit Show for 569 says they do have a right to censor even if they are popular and successful. Also, your voice is hot when you're mad. Thank you. I used to agree, but I don't think so anymore because only because there is now no way for Alex Jones to essentially have his voice heard. That means that now he can go out on the street corner, I suppose, and do it. But if they're going to be banning, all of his ability to exist online, and it's his job, I start to think that it's too close to a public utility. It's too close to using the phone. It's too used to being able to have access to electricity to say that this is not a utility at this point. And I have, up until now, been on the fence on that. Breadmoth for 5 says, Facebook sells info to China. Apple removes VPNs from App Store at Rec of Beijing. Member Apple peer. Yeah, and Apple's 1984 Mac commercial. Oh, the irony. Yeah, I know. How Apple has changed, I suppose. Theririn for 2 says, hello, fellow minion. Minion, think Lolly and ML will die. Oh, I don't know. Talking about Stand Still, Stay Silent. I actually haven't read it in a while, but I need to catch up, so so don't spoil it for me. I'm actually quite behind on Stand Still, Stay Silent, which is an excellent webcomic if you like webcomics and beautiful art and Scandinavian stuff. Rock Ep Ship for 5, Rock Up Ship for 5 says, instead of regulating them, YouTube or other tech companies, we should instead pull their First Amendment protection. They are now publishers, not a platform. Interesting, because that's exactly what the Zuck did in front of Congress, is he basically argued that they were a publisher, not a platform. So it means they don't have a right to freedom of speech. Okay, and I hope they run with that, because if that's the way they like to take Zuck's testimony to Congress, then Facebook's fucked. Facebook is a publisher, and they don't have the ability to censor anyone because they don't have any kind of First Amendment protection. For posterity, for 10 Canadian dollar dues, says look up Yuval Harari, progressive hipster intellectual, supports global government, and says free flow of information is dangerous and should be controlled. He did a TED Talk as a hologram. The MSN loves him. Oh boy, well that sounds fun. Let me Google this guy. Oh, yeah, he looks like he drinks a lot of soy. I love how you can't even joke about that now. Like, even as a meme, you can't talk shit about soy making people more feminine, regardless of the veracity of that claim. It's just, oh, you said something about soy, you must be anti-science. No, it's a meme, you dip. Mimula for 5 says, if Alex Jones is removed from Twitter, then Twitter has to explain why they allow the Taliban media spokesman to stay on Twitter. Well, he hasn't been removed from Twitter. It's YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, Apple, and Spotify. So, am I keeping the stream up? Yes, the stream will stay up. And I might clip the beginning, although I feel bad because I had like that cool, sad Alex Jones music, then my mic was fucked. Anyway, if you didn't see today, yesterday, there was a thing with Candace Owens. Candace Owens, who I don't particularly care for. I think she's a fraud, generally speaking. I don't think she's a legitimate conservative, which I really hate when people say that shit about me, so I guess I shouldn't throw stones. But, because a lot of people say that I'm not a real conservative, or I'm faking it or something, but it's just, Candace Owens never apologized for her doxing server that up until last year, fairly late in last year, still had real people's information on it, including, as I believe was confirmed, Tree of Logic. And Tree of Logic is a former police officer who might have a lot of people who want to, fucking kill her, and had her information on that website from what I had heard. I can't confirm right now, but that's what I heard from Tree of Logic. So that's not cool. Anyway, but what happened is she just tweeted the exact same things that Sarah Gian said, but she replaced the word white with Jew, and she was temporarily suspended from Twitter, and then they unsuspended her and said it was an accident. Whoopsie, whoops, we didn't mean to suspend you, we forgot you were black, and you can never be wrong about anything. So, who knows. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna... I think Twitter, actually, interestingly... Twitter's way of getting around this is the shadow banning. Twitter knows... I have to turn my AC on for a bit. Sorry, guys. Oh, God. Sorry if it's like too loud, but they Twitter's way of getting around this is to not outright remove people. They shadow ban people, right? So they make it so that nobody can find your tweets, nobody can, see what you're saying. And so essentially your voice is, and Twitter's been experimenting with this for forever. For example, the tweet is offensive. The tweet is offensive. So you have to click if you want to see more of it unless you disable that option in your Twitter settings. They've been doing that for forever. So this is just the shadow ban is just the new version of that. And that's how Twitter's getting around it. I would say, at least. Ethan Long provides says Styx is of a similar opinion, except he calls it a trust instead of a monopoly. Yeah, trust is probably a better word, because they're all in on it together. Zian Wolf for 5 says BitChute doesn't seem to have any limits on speech. They do not, which is why so far I'm behind BitChute. They feature Turd Flinging Monkey on their Twitter feed. TFM was just banned from Twitch. Yeah, and Styx is a huge supporter of BitChute, so far I would say BitChute's probably going to be the best thing, but it's hard to move because you have to take everybody with you, and it's not going to happen like that. YouTube's been around since 2006. People are used to coming to YouTube, myself included. I admit it's hard for me to say, okay, I'll just go find someplace else. And yes, InfoWars site is still up and all of that, just like a lot of people. Hard Bastard, it's one of the reasons he started a website early on, was knowing that they would come and do this. And I was sort of like, no, they'll never get that bad. And they've just, again, this is the Fort Sumter. They said, yes, we will get that bad. We will get worse than you thought possible. Brendan Stillner for 2 says, free gay frog daddy. Yes, free him. And then in a similar message, OBGYN Kenobi said, censor me daddy. Thank you guys. Eric for 2 says, it's a bit OT, but any normie talk about Jiang IRL. No idea. I don't fuck with normies, so I have no idea what the average person thinks about that. My guess is that anybody who isn't completely indoctrinated, like I said, is going to go, wow, that's racist. James Coleman for 10 said, my brother just sent you a message about public utilities, but do you think we should pressure the Trump, not public utilities, but public square, because this is the new public square? Perhaps. I'm not actually sure. I have to think about this more, but it is obvious to me now that this is not just a private company doing what they want at this point. This is not baking the gay cake, okay? If you don't want to, okay, so you're a gay person and you go with your boyfriend to go get your Rainbow Pride Parade pastry, and the guy, you find the one place in Colorado or wherever this was where the guy says, nah, I don't feel comfortable making you a personalized pride cake for your gay wedding. You can go to, like, one of any of the other bakeries in town, and there were other bakeries in the town in which, the infamous gay cake thing happened. So, that's different. I can go somewhere else to have my cake made. When we're talking about social media, at some point, no, there is nowhere else. There is nowhere else to go outside of Google, Apple, and Facebook, and Twitter. That's it. That's the end. Which means that essentially you do not have access to the public space and to freedom of speech in the same way others would. Dio Brando for 5 says, I saw an advertisement for Comedy Central, and they were calling it Truth Central showing The Daily Show. Have you seen their other stupid show? What's it called? The Resistance, the mock Alex Jones thing? Yeah, it's awful. Thank you, though. Furious Dan for $10 Canadian says, Dear Aiden, I live in Canada, land of halal poutine. Oof. I keep my love for the God Emperor a secret from everyone I know. What are the psychological effects of keeping secrets like this? Enjoy my maple bucks. Thank you. I would say, are there psychological effects to keeping something like that a secret? Interestingly, there's something called social penetration theory. It's a fun theory because it has the word penetration in it. But social penetration theory, the way we teach this in undergrad classes, no lie, is people are like onions. And we usually show a clip from Shrek. Not even a fucking joke. But basically that we have different layers of things that we want to reveal to people based on how well we know them. And it can give us greater psychological comfort to reveal greater levels of ourselves. So at the very core of yourself and the depths of your social penetration, your core, your things like moral values, your really deep hopes and dreams, like things that you don't tell maybe that you can't even express when you talk about moral values, things that are core to yourself. And then you have more general things that you don't tell everybody, you just tell, your very, very close friends and family. And as we extend to more external layers of the onion, there are things you're more open to. And depending on any number of reasons, some aspects may be closer to your core than others, either because of their importance to the sense of self or because they're embarrassing. As such, there might be certain instances where it's good to keep that back. I don't know if there is any psychological effects of hiding the sense of the self, as long as you have people you can talk to. And one of the cool things about the internet is it has the strangers on a train effect. So you can tell me, and I'll be like, that's cool. Thanks for the maple bucks, too. And yeah, so it gives you at least an outlet to express yourself. Wayne for 10 just gives 10. Thank you. Thurin for 1 says, how did you get in SSSS then? How far did you get? I'm probably like, I don't think I've read it in like 6 months, maybe more. Dio Brando for 2 says, what's your opinion on Isaac Cappy? Who is that? I don't know. Oh, let's see. What did he do? Something weird? Oh, he was on InfoWars a couple times, and he directed Thor and Fanboys. Huh. Terminator Salvation? I don't have an opinion on him, but I will check him out. Aiden, this is Matthew Meeks for 5. Thank you. Says, Aiden and other center right-leaning videos are ASMR vids for me. It's soothing to the soul. Thank you. Stealth Creations for 20. Thanks. I appreciate that. Says, with the upbringing of groups such as Proud Boys, Identity Europa, do you expect that fraternities, such as the Boy Scouts, not frat houses, will have a resurgence, redefining towards this new age and organizing political change? I think so, because I think men's groups in particular are helpful. There's actually some evidence that things like the Boy Scouts, given that, well, not now, because now it's not the Boy Scouts, remember, because everybody's allowed. It's just the Scouts. So, it's possible, and I think that we see so many young men in particular who are disenfranchised, particularly white men, and that's obvious, because they, basically, the mainstream media, these Silicon Valley dickheads, say, people like Sarah Jeong, say, being a white man is the absolute worst thing you can be. And by the way, not only is it the worst thing you can possibly be, you're a fucking dick, and you're responsible for all suffering on the planet. No shit. That as a result, people who are all being castigated and demonized under the same umbrella want to come together in kinship and brotherhood. And that's totally normal. So do I think that there will be more of that? I can't imagine it would go any other way. Everything about the rise of the alt-right, or I mean new right-wing politics in general, to some level, but specifically the alt-right, that being the, side of the right that's has more of an emphasis on ethno-states or identity politics, that is a direct reactionary position that comes about because of this. And they feel kinship and brotherhood with each other. No shit, because they have been denied all forms of brotherhood and ability to feel pride in themselves. White men are not allowed to be prideful in anything that they do or accomplish, because everything that you have done is the product of the white patriarchy that just gave it to you. You're not capable of being a successful person on yourself, on your own valid merits. It was given to you. So I certainly hope that things don't get violent, but I think that also, I hope there is an increase in men's groups and women's groups potentially, but these kinds of things that are about building communities, because we have become so segregated as a society, and I think that's part of the purpose of this too, is to ensure that people all stay in their little groups so that we can disseminate disinformation. Interestingly, while we complain about people separating into groups based on their own proclivities, no, you go into the group that we tell you to go into, and don't you fucking question it. Thank you again, Stealth Creations. John Goras for 5 says, buy bone broth and throw cakes off the roof. Yeah, buy some bone broth, guys. Support InfoWars. If you are disgusted by this, the best thing I think you could do right now is go buy a t-shirt or a sticker from Alex Jones. Or bone broth. Get yourself swole. Matthew Makes for 5 says, YouTube was originally created to host the Janet Jackson boob vid from the Super Bowl. Palpatine ironic meme. It pretty much was. So, Yeah, I don't remember now. I'm going to offend somebody because it was either Emperor Lemon or Quentin Reviews. I think it was Quentin Reviews who did a cool video about like the history of YouTube I watched not long ago. I didn't know that the first video was apparently like an elephant taking a shit or getting an erection or something like that. That was the first video uploaded to this website. And yeah, that's what this was. This was content by people for people. Or maybe just by people for themselves. That was what made everything about the internet so awesome back in the day, is that we were just entertaining ourselves like, you know, children. And that's what we should be allowed to do. It should be absolute, unmitigated, unhinged freedom of speech. That's the purpose of the internet. That's the purpose of any public platform. But that's particularly the purpose of the internet, given we have things, the psychological effects of the internet. The hyper-personal model of computer-mediated communication. We have de-individuation, both toxic and benign, disinhibition effects. All of the effects that come associated with anonymity and pseudo-anonymity. We have propinquity theory and social information processing theory. All kinds of research that shows, again and again and again, that the internet is a unique place for communication. And to stifle it, therefore stifles, I would say, the inherent progress of the development of human communication over time. The way that this is supposed to work for us as a species, hopefully. We should be able to communicate more, and this was the best way to do it. You know? But and you're gonna piss people off, because people will not stand by quietly and watch their fucking fun, their internet, go away. But, Charismatic Insanity, thank you so much. Just gave me a thumbs up and $50. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. And thanks everybody for coming here and listening to me bitch and supporting the channel. Bestest Kitty for 5 Canadian says, can't spare much, but I've been watching for years, and you and Dr. Peterson are why I'm studying psych in university in a month. Keep up the good work. You have no idea how much that means to me. That's actually extremely nice. I'm glad that you enjoyed and are interested in psychology. It is not as awful as it might seem. Just gotta watch out for some people who will try to control you. There's a good place to keep your mouth shut around teachers and people who might try to shut you up, at least for now. And in Canada in particular. Code Guy for 2 says, yeah, force them to bake the cake. Am I right, boys? No. People can do whatever they want. Unless, again, it's a utility. Default user for 2 says, it was Obama who said you didn't build that. You know, oh man. Holy shit. Do we have anything else to... Fucking Obama. But, okay, I think I pretty much covered what I wanted to cover here. Which is that this started to blow my mind. Is it logical to get rid of Alex Jones? Is it logical to essentially fire him when, in a way, we have to look at what YouTube is, for example, what Google Play Store is, what the Apple Play Store are, right? These are places from which you purchase products. Essentially, Alex Jones is a product, whether or not you paid for it. When you come to my channel, or you go to someone else's channel, you go to InfoWars and you watch an ad, you're essentially making money for YouTube. If you get it off of iTunes, and I'm sure in some way they show you an ad or something, they get some kickback through that. They get some kind of money through that. So essentially what they're doing through this deplatforming on every platform that it's occurring on is firing and mistreating their employees. Ultimately, regardless of how you feel, if you hate YouTubers, I know people who hate the fucking, who hate e-celebs and all that shit, regardless of your opinion on them, essentially, we end up being their employees. And people don't want to see employees mistreated. They particularly don't want, as Americans most of all, to have their freedom of speech stifled. And more than anything, so a third point, I guess, when you make something forbidden, it becomes a forbidden fruit. So, what you have done today is put the biggest emphasis on the importance of freedom of speech, on the value of someone like Alex Jones, and have spiked and piqued interest in his channel that he probably would never have gotten in 100 years elsewise. And I hope that I'm not wrong there. I hope that it does continue in an upward trend, you know? That this actually maintains It's power, because right now the internet is fired up about Alex Jones, as they should be, as we all should be. We shouldn't let this fade away into nothingness, because we need to be mad about this. Again, this is war this time. We're at war. There's no putting it lightly. There's no putting it any other way. Mass Normie for 10, do you think that perhaps during the Obama presidency that all these radical identity politics was something that was planned from him? Or was this just a product of his presidency done by mistake? Oh, no. Obama not just encouraged, he absolutely supported the racial division. He was the king of racial division. He made everything about race. So much so. Obama was very much on board ensuring that everything related to him that was negative was made into a racial issue. And everything about anything that was happening in the news was a fucking racial issue. So yes, that absolutely was Obama's fault. Thank you, and that's Mass Normie for 10. Thank you. Ethan Long for 5 says, all aboard the BitChute train. Well, choo-choo people, I guess. We'll make the interwebs great again. I don't know what else to do at this point, other than just try to protest actively and to support Alex Jones in every way that they can. That's all I would say. James Coleman for 5 Aussie dollars says, force them to bake the videos. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Again, we're your employees, ding dong. On some level, we're the ones who bring in the bucks. Without creators, there is no YouTube. Without people using it, there is no social media. They seem to fundamentally not understand this. If everybody leaves your shit, everyone stops using it, then there is no thing anymore. A default user for 2 says they better not take Nurkish off YouTube. Nurkish is cool. Anyway, I think that's all I had for today. I'll stick around for 5 more minutes and just answer any questions from the chat. This will be pretty much the end of the stream. But I just have to say, support Alex Jones. It's cool, guys. Only other things. Oh, there will be at least 2 additional parts to the customer service stuff I'm doing. I will be covering some of this in the 3rd part. Maybe if there's 4 in the 4th. That's the reason I started doing the stream, is because it was so much. I had to get it out of my head. It's so much shit. Stardust Ray for 5 says, little off topic, but is there any backing in the pickup artist type stuff? In terms of research, I don't know enough about it. I think that it probably works on a certain percentage of women, because women are attracted to dominance in some ways. So, potentially. Yeah, I think that's about it, though. American genocide, says Dio Brando for 2. Thank you. And Maliki for £5 says, Kaepernick is an employee. If a Subway employee was to refuse to handle meat, they would be fired. YouTube, etc. TV, it's like banning a channel. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, except for you could probably argue that he did something that violated it. But I don't know. I guess you could make either argument then, right? You could say that I guess it's different because, yeah, we're employees, so we can, I guess, be fired, but it's a little different because YouTube is not just for people who make money off of YouTube. YouTube is for you, just as Twitter is for you. It's for you to speak your mind. Facebook is to speak your mind. It's not to make money off of. That was not its primary goal, So, I'm saying it's stupid to get rid of your employees when you're an employer, and the only reason anyone uses your stupid site is to watch the people who make content for you. But that's very different from banning from Facebook and Twitter, which is considerably more just, fucked, right? I don't know. I guess you could look at it either way. What I guess I'm saying at this point is that at this point I think it needs to be regulated because there's no way it's going to get better otherwise. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by, and yeah, thanks for listening to me bitch. I totally lost my voice. I'll try to work on my video tonight. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.